Let's talk about paper. Paper is one of the key ingredients in the cyanotype process, unless of course you want to print on silk or calico or canvas. But paper is probably the best way to start out with. Now you can print on any kind of paper, you can print on tissue paper, but the problem is you have to be rinsing the piece of paper that you've made your cyanotype on. So a piece of tissue paper would just disappear in the water, just get waterlogged. Same with a sort of a normal A4 photocopy paper wouldn't work that well either. It would, I mean, you get an image, but it would be very difficult to handle. So the preferred substrate of paper would be watercolor paper, because watercolor paper is designed to withstand a lot of watercolor paper. So because you, after exposure, you need to submerge your sheet of paper into water, it will get completely wet. So it's really in your best interest to kind of start looking out for watercolor paper. And watercolor paper is a wonderful world. It's got lots of different brands, and it's got lots of different types of paper as well. So it's kind of basically divided in two bits. You've got cold pressed paper and you've got hot pressed paper. I'll show you. Cold pressed paper. Cold pressed paper is got the texture on it. You see? It's cold pressed. The opposite of cold pressed is hot pressed. Basically it's ironed. You can see super smooth. This is cotton paper. Then you got cold pressed, but it's called rough. So this is the one that's got lots and lots of texture. Now you can see, of course, is that when you're going to be making a cyanotype on rough, you're going to get the texture of the paper coming to become part of your actual work. So the same, of course, counts for a smooth, a hot pressed paper. Then you're going to get a very smooth looking cyanotype. So it all depends on your subject matter. So if you would have, for instance, lots of leaves, textural kind of things, then you might want to opt for a more rough textured paper. However, you would be printing something that's very fine, or if you print from a negative, for instance, you'd opt for a hot pressed paper. Now paper also comes in different thicknesses. Regardless if it's cold or hot pressed, everything is expressed in GSM, which is grams per square meter. So this one, for instance, is 140 GSM, so it's quite thin. This one, on the other hand, is 638 GSM, so it's more like a cardboard, very tough. You can use this for the cyanotype process. Now, paper also comes in, this is cotton paper, and you got rag paper as well. So rag paper is sort of a bit more cheap. It's still got cotton fibers in it, but it's also probably got some wood pulp in it as a filler. So it's got some of the ingredients. This is 100% cotton paper. There's no other stuff in this but cotton paper and starch. The other thing is that you, of course, need to consider the white that you're going to be using. I know I'm carrying on a bit, but it's kind of fun as well. So you've got white, and then you've got high white. So this is high white and high white. You see the difference? This is high white, this is white. Now, of course, when you're printing a cyanotype, you are going to be having blue and white. So, and white is just the color of the paper that you're using. So just imagine if you're making a high white cyanotype, the whites are really going to pop. It's really going to go white. Of course, if you're just going to go on ordinary white, yes, it's just going to be a lot more subtle. Again, depending on your subject matter and what kind of finish you want to have, you're going to be either choosing high white or white. Again, it comes in same thickness and stuff like that. Now the papers to sort of avoid is etching paper or the cheaper watercolor paper, because what happens is with etching paper you're going to get your solution which will go through the paper because it's not kind of sealed very well for etching. Same accounts for the cheaper watercolor paper. You'll see this when you coat your piece of paper with a solution, you'll see that it actually seeps through, which is not a good thing because you're going to get the solution in your paper and then you need to wash it out, and then yeah, it's not good. So let's kind of have a look at a reasonable quality paper, which makes the cyanotype process a lot more fun. I hope this was helpful. I'll see you in the next video. Thanks. Bye.